Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation. My dissertation title is Comparative Analysis of Sustainable Development Goals, Integration Competency Among Chinese and English Language Teachers in Shandong Province, China. So my research aim is that compare the SDG. So what is SDG? We can see the leading statement. When I tell you the leading statement, I will tell you what is the SDGs. So my aim is comparing the SDG integration competencies of Chinese and English teachers in Shandong Province. That is their knowledge, skills, and attitudes towards integrating the SDGs in their teaching practices. So the next is philosophy, methods, and theory. I will use hybrid methodology, multi-stage hybrid design, and sustainable development goals integration capability model. So let's say the first one, leading statements. As global commitment to sustainable development goals, we can call the SDGs goals, and educators' competency in integrating these goals into teaching practices becomes crucial. This study focuses on Chinese and English language teachers in Shandong Province, China, exploring their capability to incorporate SDGs and contribute to global sustainability. And the next is problem statement. Despite the emphasis on sustainable development, the extent to which Chinese and English language teachers in Shandong Province integrate SDGs into their teaching remains unclear. This study addresses this gap by comparatively analyzing SDGs integration competency, identifying influencing factors, and highlighting opportunities for aligning educational practices with global sustainability goals. So we have four sub-questions, and each sub-question has the sub-objectives. We can see the first question is teachers' understanding of the sustainable development goals. So each question has the two detailed small questions. We can see the first, how well do Chinese and English teachers understand the sustainable development goals? And then, are they able to distinguish and understand the specific content and objectives of each sustainable development goals? And the second question, teachers' integration of SDGs in teaching practice. How do Chinese or English teachers integrate the sustainable development goals in their classrooms? And then, are there specific teaching methods or strategies that can help promote their integration of the SDG? And the third question, factors affecting SDGs integration capabilities, and what facts may affect teachers' ability to integrate the SDG? And then, are there differences in these factors among Chinese and English teachers? And the last question, can the consistency between educational practices and global sustainable development goals? And the number one, to what extent are Chinese and English teachers' educational practices consistent with global sustainable development goals? And the second, are there any limitations or challenges that prevent them from better integrating the SDGs? And we can see the next is sub-objectives. Also have four objectives, and each objective has the two small objectives. We can see the first, teachers' understanding of the sustainable development goals. And the first one, access Chinese and English teacher awareness of the sustainable development goals. And then analyze the degree and differences of Chinese and English teachers' understanding of the specific content and globals of the sustainable development goals. And the number two, describe way and example of Chinese and English teachers integrating the SDGs in their classrooms. And explore the teaching methods or strategies used by Chinese and English teachers and their effectiveness and impact in promoting SDG integration. And number three, identify and clarify individual school and social effects that influence Chinese and English teachers' abilities to integrate the SDGs. and then compare and explain the similarities and differences of these facts among Chinese and English teachers and their impact on teachers' behaviors and attitudes. And the last one, evaluate the alignment and quality of Chinese and English teachers' educational practices with global sustainable development goals. And then identify and analyze existing limitations or challenges and their obstacles and impacts on teachers' intelligence integration of the SDGs. Okay, and the next is theory. The first question, I will use the cognitive structure theory and multiple intelligence theory. And the second question, I will use curriculum integration theory and constructivism theory. And the number 3 question, I will use teacher belief theory and teacher self-efficacy theory. And the last question, I will use education quality theory and education reform theory. So last week, our doctor said we don't need take the philosophy. So if you want to take the add the philosophy, you can ask your supervisor to ask some suggestion from the philosophy. So in the future, I will change the philosophy because it is my own choice. So in the future, I will ask some suggestion from my supervisor. I will change it. Okay, the next is methodology. The first one is type. So my supervisor told me I want to choose the quantity because I think quantity it's very suitable for me. So if I choose the quality, I think it is very difficult for me to think about more knowledge from the world. So in the future, maybe I also want to change the type. I want to use the quantity. So the first one I want to in my first presentation, I think the quality and the quantity is mixed. It's very suitable for my dissertation. So in the first time, I want to tell you my tip. And the first question, I will use the mixed. And number 2 is mixed. And number 3 is quantity. And number 4 is mixed. Okay, the next is data collection. And the first question, I will use the online questionnaire, semi-structured interview, multiple intelligence test, or multiple intelligence questionnaires. And the next question, I will use document analyze, one-site observation and video recording, and classroom observation, viewing teaching logs, and online questionnaire and discussion. And the next question, I will use online questionnaires. And the last question, I will use online questionnaires document analyze. Okay, the next is analyze. We can see the first question or the first objectives. I will use concept map analyze and topic analyze and multiple intelligence analyze and t-test or analyze of variance. And the second, I will use the content analyze and case analyze, constructivist teaching analyze and theme analyze. And the third one, I will use teacher belief analyze and factor analyze or cluster analyze, teacher self-efficacy analyze and regression analyze or past analyze. And the last question, and objectives, I will use education quality analyze and indicator analyze or performance analyze, educational change analyze and literature review and policy analyze. Okay, we can see the last one is the measurement. For the first question and obstacles, first question and objectives, I will use the cognitive structure course and cognitive complexity index, main ideals and feelings, different types of intelligence scores, and whether the difference is significant. And number 2, I will use the course content, teaching methods and assessment methods and examples, constructivist teaching practices and effects, teaching methods and strategies, effectiveness and impact. And the number 3, I will use the teacher beliefs and attitudes, factor loading and cluster center for person, school, and social facts, and teacher self-efficacy regression coefficient efficient and pass coefficients of factors of and effect. And the last question, I will use educational quality indications or educational quality assessment framework, alignments and gaps, and barriers to educational change or educational change strategies, limitations and challenges. Okay, we can see the last one is phase. In the first phase, I will use questionnaires and interviews to get some detailed and analyze. And number two, I will read many documentation and observation and use the obstacles, use the questionnaires and discussion to get detail and analyze. And phase three, I will also use the questionnaire to get some data. And last one, I will use the questionnaires and documents to get some data from the colleges and students or school. And get the data, I will use the tools to analyze the data and get the results for my dissertation. Okay, this is my dissertation development online. Thank you for your listening patiently.